Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, and thank you for tuning back into St. Andrew TV, a cure for your Monday blues. I'm your host, Andrew, and today we are doing a fancy gun spinning trick, kind of. We're not spinning the gun per se, but we are doing a fancy loading of the 6-gun on the channel. This is what happens when you have too much free time, and you have dummy cartridges, and you have a boatload of single action armies and their clones. What we're going to do today, and bear with me here, this one's going to sound a little bit more, insane. You're going to think he needs to get out of his home and go touch grass. You're going to place your gun in half cock. You're going to open the loading gate. You're going to place a dummy cartridge, a snap cap, on your rear sights with the bullet facing towards you, and you are going to get this bullet into an empty chamber without touching it. Well, I guess you're going to have to wait because I will show you how to do it right after this intro. Now, with all gun tricks on the channel, we are first going to see if our revolver is unloaded, which mine is. I never attempt anything like this with loaded firearms. It is extremely dangerous, and even though that I checked before the video started rolling, I always check on camera because you can never check too many times. I double check these before we start these videos. The second thing that we are doing today is we have fake ammunition. Real weight, it will not fire. These are snap caps. These are to train people how to load these kind of guns correctly and safely. When I thought of this, sitting there, by my lonesome, pondering about ways of loading a 6-gun and fancy ways to load a 6-gun, I thought, what if I were to throw a bullet up in the air and land it into an empty chamber? I thought that was a great idea until I realized that these guns in particular have a lot of sharp edges. And these primers can be extremely touchy. They can be very sensitive, so to speak. And I personally didn't want to blow a hole in the ceiling, or worse, add a hole into my head that shouldn't be there. So we're using dummy rounds. This shall not be tried with live ammo. That is a recipe for disaster. We're having fun, but we are taking the utmost precautions because 45 slug hitting you in any particular fashion is going to be a bad time. So do not attempt this with live ammunition. This is your disclaimer, and this is me saying, hey, not a good idea. I would strongly suggest you don't do that. Now that we have an unloaded firearm and we have dummy rounds, let us begin, and I'm going to show you how I completed it a few times. The success rate's rather narrow. I opened the loading gate, and to do this correctly, you will also have to place the gun in half cock because that frees the cylinder, and that allows you to have the complete circle, the complete opening of the open chamber available to you. It's very narrow. You can see it right there. You don't have a lot of space to work with, but you don't have to move the cylinder in any particular fashion where the round can go in there. We're already starting with a couple moving parts here. Especially the cylinder means, it is on half cock. It is the moving part. So how I grip the revolver, I put my finger in the trigger guard, and then I put my middle finger underneath the trigger guard to support it. Now, you don't want this thing to fly too high because you don't want it to rotate, and obviously you're going to want the theoretical lead end to drop. How I found it works best is if you get it to drop straight down and you have your gun at an angle, because it'll hit and flatten itself out. If you're doing this, you have a very, very slim margin of error where that thing can go. I doubt that something that is perfect to the diameter of this bullet is going to just fall right in there. I can't even do it from this high. Fell on the ground. So I angle it like this so it deadens the velocity of coming down out of the air so it can now move into the cylinder. I've also found, since we are going to put it on the rear sights, that it will be easier for you if the supposed lead end is pointed towards you. So when it goes up in the air, I don't know how well you can see that, but it evens out and starts dropping like this. That's where you turn your hand over like that. You don't want it to get too much air time. So the rough idea is kick it up in the air, turn your hand over, and the bullet will flatten out, and hopefully it'll catch the inside of that loading gate and it'll slide right into a chamber. There's no slow-mo. You're not getting a second side. I would argue that 1 out of every 150 tries for me is successful. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm not going to cut it once the bullet goes into this chamber here, and I'm going to turn the gun around. I'm going to show the camera that I did not doctor it in any way. It's going to go up in the air, it's going to go into the chamber, and you are going to see it. I'm not going to do anything fancy after. Deal? You have no choice. You are held captive to a YouTube video currently. First try, by the way. That was the first try after I discussed all that. I kid you not. Right there, you can see it, not doctored. You could see right there that there wasn't a lot of flight. You know, it got up there, it went right back down. We're not trying to hit the ceiling, but I am here to tell you that I'm a one-take Charlie. But you notice that, you know, I had a little trouble speaking right there. I'm not a great public speaker. I also flubbed it going into the holster. No cuts. I'm making sure, because this is extremely difficult, that I'm ensuring you that it is all real, it is all organic, and this is all out of my mind. Mine is crazy when you sit there and think of fun ways to do things with Wild West guns. Anyway, that is how you load a 6-gun with never touching the bullet. It's not magic, it's just what we do here on St. Andrew TV. Thank you for getting this far into the video. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed today's video, or leave me a comment stating what you liked, or tell me what I should do next. I have a Patreon that is linked down in the description field below, or it should be appearing at the bottom of your screen right now. I do not take ads nor sponsorships on this channel to ensure the community that I am homegrown and grassrooted, and I do not take any external influence by anyone. The only influence I want on this channel is from the community. So if you'd like to continue to support the channel, please feel free to go over to the Patreon link and leave a donation, but feel no obligation to do so. Only if your means allow you, because the content on YouTube will forever remain free. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed as of late, but for those of you who have come across this video or this channel, maybe because you like Wild West content, maybe you just wanted to find out a fun new way to load your 6-gun safely, or maybe you're just checking on the mental well-being of your old pal Andrew. It's not great, okay? Think about hitting that subscribe button, because you're a daisy if you do.